Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay! Rachaad White on top with 6 seconds to go.
Herbert launches downfield. It's Johnson in stride. Touchdown, Chargers. Smith on the move. Scanning as he seemed to be open. Now he just chucks it way downfield, and it's going to be intercepted. Trying to find Thornton. Tony Jefferson stepping in tonight.
These tense moments in a baseball game at this point in the year, just getting you ready for October. Swinging a fly ball right field. Under it is Call. Tagging at third is Bader. Call gets behind it. Bader's coming home. The throw to the plate is cut off by Freeman. The Phillies take the lead.
Dodgers are down to their last out.
A couple years ago, Max Muncy had a walk-off grand slam against the Phillies. Can he channel that moment here tonight?
Swinging a ground ball over to first. This should do it. Harper's got it. He'll take it to the bag. And for the second consecutive season, the Philadelphia Phillies are the National League East champions. It is their 13th National League East title, and boy, did it come with some drama.
Welcome into Sports Day. My name is Brant Daughtry. I'm the host of this fine program, have been for a couple weeks now. Big thanks to everybody tuning in and watching. You can watch us on YouTube. Landon Winkler is our executive producer. He's over there in the corner, running the cameras. Landon, waving to the camera. Big thanks to Landon. He's on it. He's in here every day just like I am, doing this show. Your sounds of the past 24 hours. I love this song. I'm really happy with this song. I just happened to find it, and, you know, sometimes life works out that way. Your sounds of the past 24 hours. The Buccaneers scored a go-ahead touchdown with 6 seconds left on a run by Rachaad White to take down the Houston Texans last night on Monday Night Football. The Bucs moved to 2-0 and are on top of the NFC South. They will host the Jets on Sunday. The Texans dropped to 0-2 and will play the Jaguars in Jacksonville this weekend. This was a really good game, a very defensive game. But, again, like I said, Rachaad White getting that last-second touchdown. It was, and I failed to mention it here, 11 plays, 80 yards on that final drive. Go-ahead touchdown scored with 8 seconds left in the contest. Fantastic job by Baker Mayfield. I love Baker Mayfield, and I always have. And it's a shame that he's playing for one of my team's rivals. It's a shame that the Falcons have to play him twice a year because he's a really good quarterback. He's been really good against the Falcons in his career. And I just, you know, he's a good player. He's a good player, and that's a good team. They always are. The Bucs are just a baseline good team right now, and I feel like that's always been Baker Mayfield. He is going to give you a very high floor, and I just really appreciate that about him. Other sounds, the Chargers defense smothered the Raiders last night in the second Monday Night Football game that kicked off at 9 p.m. Central Time. The Raiders were held out of the end zone and could only manage 3 Daniel Carlson field goals, while Justin Herbert threw for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns to win 20-9. The Raiders are 1-1 and will visit the Washington Commanders on Sunday. The 2-0 Chargers will host the Denver Broncos. So that might be something interesting if any Denver fans are listening in the area. That's going to be a good game, I think. The Chargers and Broncos, that'll be a lot of fun. And Raiders and Commanders, I mean, there's something there, especially if Jaden Daniels is actually hurt right now. He's not 100%. This was a game that was a little bit uglier. I only stayed up for the first quarter or so. I have to get it all. I have to be at the office by 7 in the morning, man. I don't have time to start a game that kicks off at 9 p.m. local time. That's outrageous. And it was 10 a.m. over on the East Coast. That's crazy. I'm not watching that. But there was a time where I would have, and I would have enjoyed every second. Unfortunately, don't have that anymore. But either way, it doesn't sound like I missed a whole lot. 20-9. Chargers kind of held them down. The Chargers defense this year looks kind of nasty. I'm excited to see what they do. And lastly, biggest story in baseball yesterday, the Philadelphia Phillies needed extra innings, but took down the LA Dodgers in the 10th on a sacrifice fly. It's the second consecutive division title for the Phils. While the Dodgers are fighting for the NL West with the San Diego Padres, they currently hold a 2-game lead after last night. That's going to be a fun race down the stretch. The Dodgers were supposed to run away with it. They were supposed to run away with the World Series once again. But they've just been kind of getting off and on. I really like the Padres. I think they're a fun team. I think Vlad Guerrero Jr. is a really fun player, and I is that who they have? I can't remember names. I'm really bad with names. I'll look it up over the break, and I'll get back to you. But those are our sounds of the past 24 hours. Sports Day today is presented by the Barton Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country. Also brought to you by Equity Bank. Here when you need us, bank local, save big with in-person banking and business banking. Visit equitybank.com for more information. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned. We've got a great show for you today. Had a conversation with Zach Baird of the Hoisington Cardinals, the head coach of that Hoisington team. They're 2-0, and they did it against two teams that they lost to last year. They look really good. They've scored 34 points in one game, 39 points in the next, against two teams that are supposed to be against two 3A teams. They're playing up, and they're putting up scores like that. So a lot going well right now for Zach Baird and the Hoisington Cardinals. We'll hear from him. He also brought in center and nose guard Leighton Hoffman and defensive back and wide receiver Carson Mason. Two really interesting kids, especially, spoke to Leighton after the game on Friday, and he had a lot of interesting things to say, and he did again in this interview. And, Carson Mason, also a kid that has a lot of potential. I think he's going to be a lot of fun to watch this year. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have that interview for you. You're listening to Sports Day, live from the Mayo Money Management Studio right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville. Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
C&E Doors, this is Eddie.
Papa, are you ready to get back to work?
Back to work? But I've been here the whole time.
But I'm back in school. You're gonna have to run the shop without me.
It will be hard without you, but people know that we provide the best service no matter the time of the year.
You could always ask me, Mom, for more help.
Who do you think is really running this place?
Garage door sales, service, and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmys make it happen.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Back Carson Mason. And guys, thanks for taking the time. Coach, another big win for you guys on the road this time.
Yeah, obviously we didn't play real clean to start the game, and I think that's probably an indication of kind of how we practice throughout the week. So that's something we got to address. But was really proud of the way we finished the first half, and we kind of duct taped it together in the second half with guys going down with cramps and just getting nicked up a little bit. But I felt like it was a great team effort from everybody, and I thought we got a lot of good play from a lot of guys, and that was really nice to see.
And, Coach, you I told you after the game, one of the crazier games that I've ever called in my 9 years of doing this job. But you guys felt like the better team pretty much the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, give Hessen a lot of credit. They're big and athletic, and they play hard and they're physical. And I thought the D tackle number 57 was really good. But we've got good pieces, and I feel like we're getting really good offensive line play. We've got a bunch of backs that can do some things, and Marty, for being inexperienced at quarterback, is playing at a high level. And we just got to do. I got to do a better job and make sure we spread the ball around and are balanced offensively.
Let's get Leighton in here. Leighton, you were part of an offensive line that for the second week in a row put up about 300 yards of rushing offense. You had one tailback go for over 250. What does that mean to you just as the centerpiece?
That's huge with us, and I think it's a proud lineman moment because if our offense can do that, what else can we do?
You made a lot of plays on defense as well, going up against a backup center in that game, but you were flashing pretty much the entire game. You got a fumble recovery, and honestly, outside of one real big play, I would say the defense did a pretty good job. What do you think?
I thought we did amazing. And nose guard position I play, I think it's a harder position, but as long as I'm doing what the team needs, it's what I'm there for.
There you go. Carson, step up, brother. Week 1, let's go back a week. You make that catch? Speak into the mic for me. You make that catch?
Oh yeah, 100%. That was a catch. I was pleading my case, but couldn't get the call.
You haven't gotten that big play yet. You've hit a couple really close, but you haven't made that big catch yet. You think that's coming?
Oh, 100%. It's right there. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
in weeks.
You and Marty seem to have a good connection, even though you haven't been able to link up anything deep downfield yet. But what's it like playing with a guy? It's his first year at quarterback. You're his primary receiver. Well, what is that like for you guys?
Well, he was a receiver with me the past 2 years, so we just have a little connection there, and then we've grown up, and he was my quarterback in middle school, so we just had a connection for a long time.
Coach, let's bring you back on the mic here. You guys had such an insane start to this game. You get a false start, it backs you up 5 yards, and all of a sudden you're ripping off that dive play for a 70-yard touchdown and get you off on the right foot. You didn't bring Taylor Morales today, but he's kind of become the story of the season. Did you expect results like this from him?
Yeah, we knew Tay was really good when we saw him in middle school, so we were excited to get him in our program. And, he started a little bit as a freshman even for us. And so we know what type of player Tay is, and the plan was always to use him at B. We were trying to do it later in the year and kind of get him some different touches, but obviously Preston goes down early and kind of forces our hand, and so Tay plays B a lot sooner than we kind of actually anticipated, but he's got a good combination of speed. He's got great sight when he's running the football, good lateral movement, and he's twitchy. So all we got to do is give him a crease, and he'll find it and he'll crease it. And so, that first play we run trap, and we do a good job inside the box. O-line does a great job. We get a head on a hat. We give him a crease, and he makes the safety miss, and it's off to the races.
Felt like Mason Martin had a better game this time around. Completes only half his passes, but a couple of big plays and 2 really nice touchdown throws as well.
Yeah, and those were both new installs this week. And so what we do offensively is so tough for the quarterback. I mean, in our read series, there's so much attention to detail that has to take place. Otherwise, the ball's on the ground, which we saw that a little bit this week. So for him to execute stuff that we just put in, Marty's a competitor. He can wing it, and he made a couple good throws at big times.
You brought Leighton Hoffman up into the stands, and then you brought him in here again this week. What is about this kid that, just keeps producing results? He's, an all-world kind of player and plays both ways for you. What is it about him?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we do, probably both sides of the ball, starts with Hoff. He's been phenomenal for us, and defensively, I thought I didn't think we were great, but I felt like our D-line played exceptionally well. I thought they were pretty good in the first half, and I thought they were awesome in the second half. So thank goodness they played well. There's some things we need to clean up defensively, but we got really good D-line play from him, from Fonz, and from Colin Motter. So that's huge for us, having 3 down linemen that can still affect the game.
Second week in a row, you've gotten a bit of a revenge game, a team that took you down last year. You come back and you get the win, and this, last week – against Pratt, it kind of felt like a new team just because of the lack of experience they had coming back. This is basically the same Heston team you played last year, and you come out and have a much better showing. How much better is this year's team than last year's?
Well, I think this year's team is healthier right now, even though we lost Preston, and that's a big blow for us. But Last year it was one of those years where we just couldn't stay healthy, and so we were constantly reteaching stuff to new guys, shuffling pieces around. And this year, obviously, our guys that played last year, sophomores, are now juniors. That makes a big difference. And we've got 8 seniors that they're good kids, man. We've got good leadership. And every year I feel like we've got great kids, but this year's probably just a little bit different as far as like team chemistry. I feel like the mental focus, the buy-in is there, and these guys are good athletes and they're competing at a high level. And when you have that, good things are going to happen.
And things are just kind of rolling for you right now. You've got a good Scott City team coming in this weekend, but I really do feel like, Coach, obviously your program's not sneaking up on anybody, but I feel like after the results of last year, maybe Hoisington kind of took a step back, but after starting 2-0, I don't think you're sneaking up on anybody anymore.
Yeah, I mean, our program is at a high level, and our guys put so much time and effort into it in the weight room throughout the offseason, and how hard we're going to ask those guys to practice and how hard we're going to ask them to play. But, you look at our schedule, it is a brutal start to the schedule. I don't know anybody in 2A that would play as tough a schedule as what we do. And so last year we did that and felt good about it, but we're doing it banged up. We're playing with sophomores who we were probably hoping to get in later in the year. And so it was just kind of one of those bad combinations. But to our guys' credit, last year, they didn't waver. They didn't stop. They kept working and were able to go on a run and make it all the way into the quarters. And this year we're just doing it with a little bit older guys and we're a little bit more healthy. So, and I think playing a tough schedule like this early on in the year really prepares us for later in the year in the playoffs. So it's a great challenge. The first 2 weeks were extremely tough, and week 3 is going to be no different.
Carson, let's get you back on the mic here. I saw something when I was making my board that I call from earlier this year. I saw that your nickname from the team is Tua.
Yep.
Where in the world does that come from?
So I'm actually a Dolphins fan.
Okay.
Yep. So that's their quarterback. Not too proud of the nickname right now, to be honest, but it's been with me since freshman year, so kind of embrace it. But yep.
Okay. So that's where Tua comes from. And Leighton Hoff, they call you.
Yep.
Man, you're pretty much same question to Coach. You're getting back to what Hoisington is expected to be. And what does it mean to you that you've kind of gotten this 2-0 start? You're probably going to be in the top 5. I haven't checked rankings yet, but probably going to be in the top 5 in 2A after this week. What does that mean to you?
It's awesome, but really it's just week by week, Yeah.
Okay. And, Coach, get back in here. We'll one more question for you. We're rotating guys around. We've only got 2 microphones, and I'm taking up one of them. So you 3 are just going back and forth right now, which is how this thing works sometimes. But, Coach, tell me a little bit about Scott City. I haven't done my scouting yet, but I'm sure you have. What have you seen from them?
Scott's tough. I feel like defensively you'll get an even front, and they'll walk overhangs down. So it almost looks like a 6-man front from time to time. But they're just kind of what you'd expect. That they're big, strong kids. They're competitive. They're physical. They do a good job running the football. I feel like their inside linebackers are probably going to be the best duo we've seen yet this year. So they'll give us problems. We're going to be extremely good at what we do. Any type of new install this week, we've got to be cut in and sharp. And if we don't execute offensively, it'll be a struggle for us. And then defensively, it's always a challenge. They're going to get hats to the football at the point of attack, and they do a good job using motions to create numbers. And, there's a guy that plays for him. I can't think of the kid's name right now, but number 7 is a big-time offensive threat for him that we're going to have to know where he is at all times.
And Coach, one more question for you, and I could end it there, but I want to talk to you about this. I talked to you about it on Friday night as well. I've seen a lot of triple option and flex bone and wing tee and stuff like the offense that you run that's kind of designed around ball control. And somehow 2 weeks in a row, you've put up 30-plus points. Those offenses just aren't designed to do that, but you've managed it somehow.
Well, I think it's a combination of things. I think at first, obviously, it starts with good offensive line play, and I can't say enough about those guys. I feel like we're getting really good offensive line play right now. And then we've got good backs. Our quarterback's making good decisions, and we got good weapons on the perimeter. So, it's our job to try to get our guys in the best possible place, and then hopefully from that point on they go execute, which they've been able to do, and we get athletes in space, and those guys have been doing a good job of making plays with the football.
Coach, guys, thanks for coming in today. Looking forward to Friday.
Yeah, thanks, Brant. Appreciate
it, man. Hey, y'all gave me a shirt. I'll actually have Cardinal gear to wear on Friday. That's That's going to be a lot of fun.
That's right, man. Well, there's more of that to come, too.
All right. We're back with more on Sports Day right after this. Didn't mean to throw it to commercial in that interview, but we're back. Sports Day. Big thanks to Coach Baird for coming in. Big thanks also to Carson Mason and Leighton Hoffman for coming in as well. Those guys seriously are. It's just a ton of fun to call, and that community's been super welcoming to me, just as the voice of Cardinal football. And they've they're kind of keeping me on my toes a little bit. But like I told Coach, that's such a fun team to call because they run a style of offense that is so focused on control the football and move the ball 4, 5, 6 yards at a time. And suddenly, they're ripping off 70-yard runs. And anytime you can get a big play like that, you're certainly not going to say no to it. They're just a really competent football team. They believe so much in what they're doing, and they're really good at doing it. And Mason Martin is making the right choices. And like I said, he had his first 2 touchdown passes of the year on Friday night. They're a really fun team. And normally we play those interviews on Wednesday, played that particular interview on Wednesday. Wanted to move it up a day because I want to let people know now there will be no show on Thursday. The Kansas City Royals have a noon start time, so we will not be able to have that show have this show on Thursday, but we will be back on Friday. We will have tomorrow. We will have Friday. Just nothing on Thursday, making way for the Kansas City Royals, who are kind of in a bad spot right now. Not looking like they're going to make the postseason. They're going to have to get real lucky and real hot down the stretch of these last 12 games or so. They'll play a game tonight. They're playing the Mariners, so we'll see how that goes. Cal Raleigh probably going to win AL MVP, so that's going to be a tough test, but it's one that they're going to have to pass. They pretty much don't have an opportunity to lose again. They certainly can't lose a series. Honestly, if they go 12-0, that's probably their best bet, which is obviously easier said than done down the stretch. So, Sports Day is brought to you by C&E Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange sign south of 10th and Harrison. It's also brought to you in part by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street here in Great Bend. We've got to get to another break. When we come back, I spoke with Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats. Tough loss on Friday to Arizona. We get Wyatt's thoughts on that one. And we'll also look ahead, just kind of the future of this K-State football program. And hopefully they can turn it around. They're in a bye week right now. They've got UCF coming up next week. Going to be a tough game with Scott Frost back there. Wyatt and I talk about that and a whole lot of other Wildcat stuff. You're listening to Sports Day live from the Mayo Money Management Studio right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of Your Local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Barton Community College has college classes that fit your life and your budget. With 5 flexible start dates, Barton Online is perfect for picking up a class or earning your associate's degree at less than half the cost of a university. Study anytime, from anywhere. Save time, save money. Start strong with Barton Online. Ready to take the next step? Visit online.bartoncccc.edu and enroll today.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Sports, leisure, fitness, and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at the Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend or check out the all-new website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the Rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the Rec.
Welcome back to Sports Day. Now pleased to be joined by the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats. Wyatt Thompson joins us here on Sports Day. Wyatt, another tough loss for K-State, and I think they showed some good things in this one, but couldn't pull through in the end.
Yeah, it's been a really tough stretch, to be honest about it. I think we've talked a lot about just the inconsistencies of the team, and I think in this game, I think what you really probably look at is what Arizona was able to get done in the run game. 234 rushing yards, 5.2 yards per carry, and a couple of touchdowns. They jumped out on K-State early, led at the break 17-3. Cats fought back a little bit in the third quarter, but they had a couple of long plays, and that was it. Most of the rest of the night, it was a real struggle, and there you sit now at 1-3. Tough night.
It was a tough night. I like I said, I caught most of that second half, and I was impressed by the fight that Kansas State showed. I think that after a first half like that, it would have been easy to kind of fold and punt until next week. But I felt like K-State showed a lot in that third quarter especially.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I really believe that they came out. Now, they were, I think they showed a little bit of a different look and got the 75-yard touchdown run out of the Wildcat formation from Jace Brown, and then Arizona made a mistake. K-State took advantage of that, and next thing you know, we've got ourselves a ball game, right? But, after that, I think Arizona settled back in and just was probably the more consistent team. And I think that's, something that has frustrated the K-State fan base. Everybody has asked me this week after the 1-3 start, what do you do with the off week? Where do you start to try to get better? And what I say is, you know what? Games are won at the line of scrimmage, and I think K-State needs to be better with their run defense, and I think they need a better push on the offensive line in their offensive run game. And we'll see if those kind of things can take place, and maybe you enjoy a week off and go get UCF next week. We'll see how it plays.
And why that's one of the things that I specifically wanted to mention all year through 4 games so far, run defense has just been an issue for Kansas State. What do you think is causing that?
Well, I just don't know that the tackling has been good enough. I don't know that the fits have been quite good enough. There have been times when they've played, pretty decent football. You go back to that first game in Ireland, I thought they really were dominant, honestly, in the first half against Iowa State, even though they had no field position. And I think it shows you that this team has the ability, but they just haven't been very good at some junctures of games in terms of tackling. They've given up way too many long chunk plays when maybe they shouldn't. There have been several times that I can think of off the top of my head where they've had teams at 3rd and 8, 3rd and 15, and those kind of things, and they still convert. That's the other thing. They've got to get better, and they, meaning K-State, both ways, both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. They got to get better on third down. The third down conversions offensively are not good enough, and they're giving up way too many first downs on third down, and then fourth down's even more scary than that. So there's work to do.
And what do you think is happening right now with the Kansas State offense? Just so many expectations on Avery Johnson, was expected to take that next step. And speaking about him specifically, it doesn't seem like he has, but there also hasn't been a ton of help around him.
Yeah, Brent, that's a pretty fair statement, actually. I don't think Avery's played poor football in any way. I think, as a matter of fact, he's probably thrown the ball this year, generally speaking, as well as he has in the time frame that he's been here. He's developing as a quarterback. I think he's getting better, but there's not been a lot of help around him necessarily when you consider the lack of push from the offensive line in the run game. I think with Dylan Edwards out of the lineup for the most part, the running backs have frankly not been as good as I think everybody had hoped they would be. And I'm not trying to put blame on anybody, but Coach mentioned a week ago at his press conference that, as an example, the offensive line, blocks for maybe 4 yards and the backs are getting 4. A year ago, when the line was getting 4 yards, blocking for 4 yards, DJ Giddens might be getting 6, maybe getting 8, maybe getting 9, 10 yards. That's a really big difference. And I think they've been in, third and long way too often. And so there's a lot of it. And again, it isn't just Avery. They haven't had, Dylan Edwards much. The run game has been not great. There have been too many drops, too many mistakes, and it's frustrating for sure.
You talked a couple of weeks ago about how you just wanted to see this team get healthy and having more bodies would be a big help. What is the health of Kansas State like right now?
I think they still have a ways to go there. We saw Dylan for a handful of plays in the game at Arizona on Friday night, but he's not healthy yet. And in retrospect, maybe I don't want to second guess the coaches, but maybe with this week off and then next week you have him for UCF, and maybe he will be a little bit more healthy. It was nice to have Ryan Davis back, but you can tell he hasn't played in a month or longer. Those kind of things. And I think we've gotten a little bit out of Gunnar Maldonado, but nothing like what I believe he is capable of. We have not seen, Kobe McAllister all season long, and I think it won't be too much longer where he'll be available. Fitzpatrick has been out the entire season. They're looking maybe at mid-October for him to come back. So they probably haven't had a whole heck of a lot of luck on that front either, right? They've had, a couple of other bumps and bruises and a couple of linemen that have missed games and what have you. So it's just, it's a little all over the map. I just don't think they've really been all that healthy all the way through. But you got to play with who's available, and that's just reality of it.
Chris Klieman said earlier this week that over the bye week, he can't be afraid to make changes because things just aren't going great right now. Put yourself in his... Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to... That's a great question and conversation piece, I think, because what do you do, right? Well, here's what I would say to K-State fans. It hasn't been perfect. It's been frustrating, all of those things. But the guy's been around the game 31 years, and he's won a lot. And he's going into this year, everybody in Dallas at the Big 12 Media Days was talking about how he's one of the most consistent coaches in this league. And I don't think that's changed in 4 games. I think he will try to get this thing turned around and fixed. There are things that I think that are fixable. Can they make enough adjustment in the offensive line to get more push? Can they be better technically, defensively, and those kind of things? I think that is all still on the table. Health, it's hard to fix health, though. You either are or you aren't. And let's hope, a couple of weeks from now they're healthier.
What do you think is the biggest matchup this week or next weekend against UCF?
That's a great question, too, because, they struggled to beat Jackson State, who's a better team than most people would think. Then they just clobbered North Carolina A&T, who wasn't really very good. But here's what I would say. When Scott Frost was there before, he won a lot of games. He did struggle in his time at Nebraska. But I think the man's a good coach. I think he has good coordinators. Coach Cooper, Coach Alex Grinch does a really good job. They've helped themselves in the portal on both sides of the ball. I think this year was all about what will they get at quarterback play. And so far, with a couple of 2 or 3 guys, they've been okay. Probably better defensively, at least early on. They started out house fire last year and won a couple of 2 or 3 games. And then when Big 12 play started, they struggled. Will that happen again? Maybe. I hope we can put them on that path next week. But I do think they're well coached and they're going to play hard, and they always have good athletes. So you got to get ready and get back to the drawing board and make some changes if need be, and we'll see what happens.
Obviously, the fan base is frustrated, and there's frustration surrounding the program. But you're in the building. What is the feeling like around Kansas State's football team right now?
Well, everybody's been down. Winning football games is a lot of fun, and it's hard to do. And when you're not winning, there's frustration. There's people that are upset and mad, and I get that. I think all of us are really disappointed about where this team is in relation to what everybody thought they would be when the season started. And I don't think you can, say things and think so far ahead that, well, okay, we've only played 1 conference game, we can still go win the league. I don't think you want to think that way. Let's get some things straightened out. Let's try to beat UCF, and then we'll see what happens the next week in Waco, because that'll also be a really, really hard game. I think you got to go back to the drawing board on some stuff and take this, one or two steps at a time. You get any farther ahead of yourself than that, I don't think you're doing yourself any good. That's just my opinion.
Well, that's interesting. I wanted to ask you about that because this Arizona game did not count as a Big 12 game, so you are technically only 0-1 in the conference. Things are still on the table with a little bit of luck, and if you turn things around, but you're saying right now don't focus on that and just take things one game at a time.
I think you can think that in the back of your mind, but I don't think it needs to be in the forefront. I think you need to be thinking more about doing run fits better defensively and getting off the field on third down and offensively having more balance and maybe get Avery a little more involved in the run game and get a little bit more healthy. All of those things I think are way more front and center than what happens and where will we be standing in November, because we don't know yet, right? I will say this, I do think the team is capable. You think about what Arizona did a year ago. They didn't start how, and yet they came back and won the league. I'm not saying K-State will do it. This league is a bear, man. It's hard. But, there's a reason they were ranked 17th in the country to begin with. I think a lot of people think they have the potential to be good. You just got to try to figure out how to reach that potential.
Wyatt, how are you spending the bye week? What are you doing this weekend?
Well, there's so many really cool games. To be honest with you, buddy, I'll be watching a lot of that. I'm so intrigued by several games. Probably the one big one in the league that everybody is talking about with the Tech game at Utah. Don't you think that could be a really, really interesting game? I sure
absolutely.
do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'll be watching a lot of football, both Saturday and Sunday. But that's kind of what I do. I'll do a little yard work and do a little stuff with Karen. But other than that, I'm this time of year, man, I'm all football for the most part.
That is
right or wrong.
That is 100% how I'm planning on spending my Saturdays throughout football season as well, is just plopping down on the couch and throwing on the multi-view for 12 hours or so. And it's just, it's a great way to spend a Saturday.
Life is good, right?
Wyatt, enjoy talking to you every week. Thanks for taking the time, man.
It is my pleasure, sir. Good talking to you.
Yes, sir. That is Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats here on Sports Day. Big thanks to Wyatt Thompson. He joins us every Tuesday, and I say this every week, just the nicest guy in the world, and he volunteered that time. I was going to ask him if he wanted to do it like once every month or so, but he said, hey, do you want to do this weekly? Just because, he wants to take time. He wants to help out KVGB. He knows this place, and he's just the nicest dude you'll ever meet, and so really happy with getting to speak with Wyatt every week. Yeah, Kansas State is not in a great spot, but they are still only 0-1 in the the Big 12, pardon me. UCF is going to be an interesting team because, they're 2-0. They also beat Jacksonville State 17-10. It was not a dominant effort from the Golden Knights by any means. They're on year one of Scott Frost. They're still trying to figure out how to advance after the end of the Gus Malzahn era, which didn't end great. Even though Gus Malzahn's an offensive coordinator, man. He was born to just call plays and scheme and design an offense. And the fact that that's all he has to do now, it's really good for him. But the Jacksonville State thing, that worries me. I'm not going to say it worries me. I'm rooting for Kansas State in this game. But I do think that UCF is a team that is beatable. We'll know a lot more after they play North Carolina on Saturday. That game at 2:30 if you're curious. But Kansas State has got to figure this thing out, man. They're a team that has way too much talent on it to be 1-3 right now. And that one win to be over an FCS school that you had to have a last-minute drive to take down. This team has a lot of talent. They have a really good head coach. There's really good players on that squad, and I for the life of me, can't figure out where the problem is. So I don't know what they do going forward. I hope the answer is figure this thing out because they're too good a team, and They have too fun a quarterback, and, Avery Johnson had offers to go to other places, bigger schools with more money and more branding, and he said, no, I'm a Kansas guy. I want to be in Kansas, and I love Manhattan. And so I do hope they can turn it around, flip it down the stretch. And like Wyatt said, Arizona did something similar last year. They weren't a great team to begin the year, but they flipped it on down the stretch, and things worked out for them. So hopefully K-State can get it turned around and copy that. Even if Kansas State doesn't win the league, like Wyatt said, the first thing they've got to do is figure out how to beat UCF next week. Sports Day is brought to you by Equity Bank, adding value for customers and communities. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned. See the locations tab at equitybank.com for more locations. Also brought to you by Sutherland's, helping you build it better since 1917. From quality lumber, plywood, and OSB to cabinets, plumbing, hardware, and power tools, they have everything you need to get the job done. Visit Sutherland's out on 10th Street. We're going to take our next break. When we come back, we're going to look at Great Bend High School athletics, specifically what's happening today. A lot of focus on football, and justifiably so. But there's a lot happening in the high school today especially, and I also want to preview something that I'm doing tomorrow that I'm excited about. So we're going to come in. We're going to talk about that. We're just going to talk a little bit of Great Bend High School stuff when we come back after this. You're listening to Sports Day live from the Mayo Money Management Studio right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
C&E Doors, this is Eddie.
Papa, are you ready to get back to work?
Back to work? But I've been here the whole time.
But I'm back in school. You're gonna have to run the shop without me.
It will be hard without you, but people know that we provide the best service no matter the time of the year.
You could always ask me, Mom, for more help.
Who do you think is really running this place?
Garage door sales, service, and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
This year, Eagle Media Community Calendar joined local historian Justin Engelman on Monday, September 22nd for a historic walking tour of downtown Great Bend. There'll be 2 sessions at 6 and then again at 7:15 p.m. The tour will include the upstairs of several downtown businesses. Comfortable shoes are recommended and participants must be able to climb stairs. Admission is free for Historical Society members and $5 for non-members. Space is limited and reservations are required. For more information, call 620-617-5270. Visit Barton Community College at 5 p.m. on Thursday, September 18th for an evening where the fine arts inspire the performing arts. Barton's talented faculty will present a special collaborative event featuring both live performances and visual art displays. Come experience the creativity of Barton's faculty and celebrate the arts in our community. The event is free and open to the public. A reception with refreshments will follow. Visit shows.bartonccc.edu for more information. You can help the Cans for Kids Fighting Cancer Foundation by attending the 20th Annual Fall Fun Festival from 1 until 5 p.m. on Sunday, September 28th at the Castleman Farm, southwest of Claflin. The event will feature fun games, a petting zoo, horseback rides, crafts, face painting, and great food. All proceeds will benefit area kids with cancer through the Cans for Kids Fighting Cancer Foundation. Castleman Farm is 3 miles west of Claflin and 1 mile south at 1017 Northeast 100 Road. And one of the most popular events at Fort Larned National Historic Site is the annual Fall Candlelight Tour on Saturday, October 11th. Visitors will experience the fort after dark as living history volunteers share historical dramatizations by candlelight. Reservations are required and will open at 8:30 a.m. on Monday, September 29th. Space is limited. To register, call the fort that's located 6 miles west of Larned on Highway 156. That's the update. I'm Steve Webster.
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville.
We're back on Sports Day. It is a Tuesday afternoon. 1:16, just about on the dot. I said when we came back we were going to talk a little bit about Great Bend High School sporting events. There's a lot going on today. Before we get to that, there is one thing. This is not specifically for Great Bend High School, but high schoolers are welcome. The Badgers, a local cycling team, competitive for grades 6 through 12. They are currently using the bike path out on, I believe the north side of Lake Barton is what the gentleman who stopped by earlier today said. But a man came by and said, hey, we've got this cycling team, and it's really growing in popularity, and we think it deserves to be spoken about on Sports Day, and I think he's right. Cycling is a big deal. It's low impact. It's healthy. It gets you out, gets you exercising. And if you are someone who is in grades 6 through 12, you've got the opportunity to go and be a Badger. Go bike that trail north of Lake Barton. And I think he said they compete nationally. So if you're good enough, if the team's good enough, you can go to a lot of places with that. So heck, I'd Google it. I'd give it a call if you're interested. Looking at the Great Bend High School picture today, first of all, girls varsity invitational tennis team is going to Dodge City to play Dodge City High School in the girls varsity invitational. That's at 1. So that's actually already taking place. I'll see if I can get some results here when we get to our next break. Here's where things get interesting. Volleyball and soccer are both playing Hayes today. Both of those teams are playing Hayes. Volleyball is playing Hayes at Hayes. That'll be a varsity triple. They're also playing Manhattan in that matchup. So, look, here's the thing. I've learned this about Great Bend. Everybody around here really likes to beat Hayes. Nobody in this town likes the Indians. And, Landon, that's right? I'm not messing that up. They're the Hayes Indians. You got a microphone on if you want to. There you go.
Yeah, the Hayes High Indians.
Hayes High Indians. Okay, thank you, Landon. Landon is my go-to source for when I go, hey, you're from here. Yeah, nobody around here likes Hayes High. So volleyball and soccer are both playing Hayes High today. So if you want to go to Hayes, you can do that. You can also go to the Kavanaugh Soccer Complex, which I believe is also on the campus of Hayes High School. If you want to catch soccer, the JV game starts at 5. The varsity boys soccer game starts at 6:30. Volleyball starting at 4 p.m. So all three of those programs playing Hayes High today. Want to talk about the volleyball team just a little bit because on tomorrow's episode of Sports Day, Shelley Duvall, the head coach of the Great Bend High School volleyball program, is going to make her first appearance with me as the host since the show came back from summer break. Really looking forward to that. I've heard a lot of great things about Shelley Duvall and how fun she is and the things that the way that she adds to this show. So I'm looking forward to getting her back in studio. We're going to talk tomorrow and You know, who knows? Maybe she sticks around for a little bit longer. Maybe so. So we're going to talk to Coach Duval. We got to get to our next break. Actually, before that, hold on. Sports Day is brought to you by Equity Bank, adding value for our customers and communities. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and Larned. See the locations tab at equitybank.com for more locations. And by Sutherland's, helping you build it better since 1917. From quality lumber, plywood, and OSB to cabinets, plumbing, hardware, and power tools, we have everything you need to get the job done. Visit Sutherland's on 10th Street. I already read those. Congratulations. Those people get a little bit of extra advertising. I need to read these too before we get to our next break. Sports Day is brought to you by Kern Floor Service. Whether you need a new ceramic, porcelain, or natural stone tile floors, our knowledgeable and friendly flooring experts are here to help you find the perfect floor for your lifestyle, home decor, and budget. Visit the Great Bend Showroom at 908 Coolidge to see, touch, and feel the latest styles. Also brought to you by Cody Crook of Red Cedar Land Company. Whether you're looking to sell your land or find the right property to buy, Cody takes pride in understanding your goals and making the process as smooth as possible. Call Cody at 620-617-7320 or visit redcedarland.com. All right, now we can get to our next break. Over the break, I'll try and find some results of the current varsity tournament that's happening. Again, they're only of the girls varsity invitational in tennis. Again, that happening, it just started about 20 minutes ago, so not sure that there's going to be any results available, but I'll look. And we'll also spend the last segment of the show. We'll talk a little bit about the Kansas City Royals. We'll go into detail on their last stretch of the season. You're listening to Sports Today live from the Mayo Money Management Studio right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness, and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at the Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend or check out the all-new website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Get on the fast track to earn your national certification with Barton Community College's new Medical Lab Assistant program. In less than 1 year, you'll gain hands-on training to work in medical labs, clinics, and hospitals, delivering critical patient care. With flexible learning, including 100% online courses and lab hours at your local hospital, you can grow your career or start fresh. Healthcare needs skilled professionals like you. Enroll now at mla.bartonccc.edu.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Brant Daughtry here with you live. Landon Winkler's over in the corner. Big thanks to Zach Baird, head coach of the Hoisington Cardinals, and Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats, for joining us here today on this episode. Was looking, unfortunately, could not find any results for the girls varsity invitational tennis match against Dodge City today. That is currently ongoing. We'll try do our best to update everybody on that and the results of everything else that's happening around Great Bend High School today. Again, coming up at 3:45-ish, you've got the volleyball team taking on Hayes and Manhattan over in Hayes. You've also got soccer taking on Hayes in Hayes again. So Great Bend traveling to Hayes with 2 different teams today. All right, I promised you some Royals discussion. Here's the thing. You have 3, 6, 9, 12 games left Teams you'll be facing are the Mariners, Blue Jays, Angels, and Athletics. None of those teams are really blowing you away, but they all have better record. Well, 2 of the 3 have better records than you do, I think. What's the Angels' record? No, the Angels are worse. But it may not matter at this point because, all right, let's look at it. The team holding the 3rd wild card spot right now is the Houston Astros. The Yankees are leading at 83 and 67. Those top 3 are really jumbled up. They're Yankees 83 and 67, first wild card spot. Red Sox 82 and 68. Astros 82 and 69. So those 3 teams are all battling for potentially all 3 wild card spots. Well, right behind them you have the Cleveland Guardians and Texas Rangers. The Guardians just took 3 out of 4 from the Royals. That was kind of probably the killing blow to the Royals season. You've got 12 games left. You're at 75 and 75 if you're Kansas City. You are 6.5 games out of a playoff spot. And again, you have to hope and pray that either the Red Sox or the Astros just completely collapse down the stretch and you win pretty much your final 12 games. Your best possible record at this point is 87 and 75. That would be in a wild card spot, but that's if you win all 12 remaining games that you have. That's going to be tough. And you obviously can't ask a team to go on a 12-game winning streak. That's not a realistic expectation. But it may be what they have to do if they want to make that playoff spot. And then again, you have to hope that these teams that have winning records, have pretty good records, just completely fall apart. So, look, I'm going to pretty much call it here. I don't think that the Royals are going to make a playoff spot. I don't. I think they're just a little bit out of that wild card spot. Losing 3 out of 4 to Cleveland, I think that was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago at this point. That was kind of the death knell. They're still not mathematically eliminated. They're probably going to have to get to the last week of the season for them to officially not have a playoff spot. But look, you're a 500 team, and you're behind 2 other teams for that wild card spot, and they're both 3 games ahead of you. So look, you're gonna get 2 pretty weak teams to end the season in the Athletics and the Angels. You're gonna have to sweep those 2 teams if you want a prayer here. But then you're hosting the Mariners, you're hosting the Blue Jays, and oh man, those last 2 series are on the road. I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, if they go 12-0, yeah, okay. There's a really good shot that they can make it. But I'll be totally honest. I don't know if you can hope that the Red Sox and Astros, one of those 2 teams does not go, or both of those teams. You have to have one of those 2 teams go 5-7 down the stretch to tie with them. And it's just going to be tough, man. It's going to be a tough deal. I think another good show. We've got another good show for you tomorrow. Again, Shelley Duvall, the head coach of Great Bend High School Volleyball, is going to join us. Steve Webster, former host of this show, is going to join us. It's going to be special. We got some good stuff planned. Tune in. That's tomorrow, 12:30. Sports Day right here live from the Mayo Money Management Studio on 1590 KBGB and 95.5 FM.